Good afternoon. Welcome to Options Center. It's Wednesday, June 26, 2024. Welcome, everybody. If you're new here, go down to that bottom right-hand corner, hit that Options Center logo, and subscribe. But we are doing this intraday at about 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to get these videos during the trading hours, then feel free to be a supporter. It's like 99 cents. Otherwise, you'll get these free videos at 4 p.m. We're going to go through SPY on multiple time frames. We're going to shoot around the horn with QQQ, IWM, and the VIX. We're still short tech and long small caps, and we're short the market. In the meantime, I do think price still has a chance. We're just kind of consolidating right in the middle. So it appears we can still hit those lower targets that I was talking about, but there still is an alternate scenario where we get one more high and then we really start to correct at that point. So I'll show you both those scenarios and what they might look like, but I'll really show you on the Qs why I think we're going to the lower levels first. Now, I'm just being honest with you. I'm short the market, short tech. Tesla calls. I put out that Tesla video for the members. I made it public today. Check that out. I'll post it above. That has been a fabulous, not only a hedge, but it actually is leading our accounts. And I started rolling positions out a little bit more time. So I'm long many different Mara, Airbnb. I even have GME calls, Square, Boeing. I have all these calls I am short SPY and QQQ. How can that be? And we just put out a video for so at the end of this video, I'm going to go through MJ, the marijuana harvest ETF, very quickly. I think this is a great play for your IRA. And you'll get paid while you wait for the appreciation. It's a win-win situation. Unless you think the ETF is going bankrupt, those companies are going bankrupt, and that ETF is going away. All right, so enough of that. Lots to talk about. We have SPY. Again, you can play this video on 1.5 speed if you want to get all this jibber jabber, all this information done quicker. We have SPY on monthly time frame. We're into resistance from 2000 top. Here's the 2022, and we're at that top right now. So we're getting towards the end of the month. I do believe if the scenario that we're looking for a little bit lower prices going into I'll show you that time factor on the lower time frames. Then we'll have a doji. We'll have a reversal doji on the monthly time frame as it comes to a conclusion. And then we may be looking for some sort of reversal at that point. We'll see. Let's go. We have negative divergence on everything. I don't have to show you that over and over. We have a weekly negative divergence as well. Here's the weekly board. All right, so this is the same point of view. The top of 2022, we're reversing. We got a reversal candle off of this week's candle. And are we going to get follow through? We don't know yet. Right now, it's just an inside bar on this weekly. So we have some catalysts coming up into the end of the week, tomorrow and the next day. And so that, one of those might trigger that up or down move that I was talking about. So catalysts, we don't look at them as being positive or negative. We just look at, price has been not moving anywhere. It's been choppy. And so that's why these individual names are moving. And you got to catch those at the top of these market turns because they play catch up. And I think that's what we actually, I wasn't able to get this call out, but we traded SNOW today, SNOW. And that just a great breakout move there. And we're already out because it needs to form market structure. But these things start to move when the market is consolidating at the top or even forming a top, if you will. So everything's bullish in a bullish posture. We have an 8 EMA. on the monthly time frame and the weekly, everything's above. We're just into resistance, so we have to be very careful with that. And so XLY, we have the reason why we have that going off there is because the ETF is moving higher, and the two largest components of the XLY is Amazon and Tesla. And you see both those are 4%. Just great plays. I did not play Amazon, but we caught Tesla. Okay, let's go down to the daily time frame. Trend is our friend. On this daily time frame, you see this wedge here. We got the 4 tops there. That's what the channel top was on the weekly time frame. We don't have bearish divergence on the daily. That's the only thing we don't. So we don't have to. We're just filling out this wedge here. So if price wants to, it's holding above the 8 EMA right now. So it's in a holding posture, but it looks kind of like a bear flag. And so we're either looking at this correction being done, getting one more high, and with Tesla moving and some of these smaller caps, if they can push hard enough and get higher levels with SPY, and perhaps we get a higher high on SPY and a lower high on the Qs, we can have a negative divergence here on the daily time frame on the MACD and the RSI. So we don't have those right now. We've made new highs in each of those in this last move. So we're holding that 8 EMA, but the other situation is price could go test lower prices here. The breakout point, the trend line, that would be our target area if price loses this 8 EMA. Now, if you're new to this channel, you can check out, this is our alternate scenario where we had this megaphone that used to be our primary scenario for so many months. We got to this top here, and then we started making new highs. So I kind of went away from that. But it doesn't matter how you count it. This is still valid no matter what, even if we have the top here. But I'm just showing you with the arrows what this might look like if we do get lower prices and either break the wedge and then back test higher, or just get hold the wedge and move to higher prices from the wedge. We're just showing, the whole point is, no matter how we do it, this is our next target if price wants to get up there, and that's the 561 zone. So we'll just call it 560 zone. And it just so happens that if price wants to do whatever, how quickly it wants to, we have a time and price right at this junction here at 731. What is that? That's FOMC next month into July. So you'll see some time factors as we go through these different charts. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go back because we're here to learn and to see. So back in the weekly time frame, our Elliott wave picture, that's that 560 zone right up there at the 161.8. Well, if we dig into here, we have some time factors towards the end of the month here. Do we go straight down into those time factors? I don't know. I just put an arrow there. I don't know if we'll get that reversal or not. The whole point of the time factor is wherever we're at that time, at the end of the month, you have the 729 and 722 here. If we're down here at that price factor, I think that we're looking for a low. And perhaps we get down there, and then we go for that last target into like election season and things like that. Okay, make one more high. If price is up here at the 162% extension into the time scenario, I think this is a fabulous short. And I do believe this would be the top of the market altogether. So price isn't, time is not giving us a direction, but price will give us that direction. And when we get there, that'll be a trade setup. So for all of you who, we're short the market right now, but we're actually short and long. We're long individual names and short the market. So for those of you who say, oh, well, great, you cover both bases, so you can't be wrong. Well, that's not what traders do. If you're a market predictor, then you're the person that says, oh, we're going this way, and this is how we're getting there no matter what. There's no alternative. This is what's happening. I'm predicting. That's not the game. We're traders. We're trying to make money. So if price does this, we have an excellent trade set up to the upside, or at least a bounce. If price does this, then we have an even better trade setup for short. Enough babbling. We're going to go to that next board on the daily time frame to show that ending diagonal with our time references. Here's an ABC into 1, ABC 2, ABC 3, 4, and we're looking for 5. So I don't know if this wave is going to be an ABC and this is done. We have a top here and the market continues lower. The other scenario was that we get another high. Again, these are just ways of looking at it. Right now, it looks like we're bear flagging. We got a reversal, bear flag, and then we get into these time relationships. Looking into on a lower time frame, we have 7-1 here, and looks like about 7-8 here. So we have two clusters coming on the daily time frame in this lower. So do we go lower into 7-1? That's something we'll have to look at, and I'll show you what that looks like on the lower time frame too. Into 7-7. So we have a couple spots that we can make a low if we decide to go lower, and again, if we go higher, we could be looking for a reversal, and we'll just move this up to here or so. So really soon, I thought that today might have been a good point, but today might be considered a top. All right, so let's look, and just to show you, we have that 162 next level up here, and the end of July is right here in this cluster. We have those with the weekly here, that 722, 725, or even 730 going to FOMC. So a couple time relationships going up there if price is up there by the end of the month. So I prefer if price goes down a little bit, maybe into this 530 zone. I prefer this scenario here. This would make so much sense to me, because if price goes down, makes a low into one of these time clusters, then we can drag the market up with all of these setups we have in the small caps, and there's so many setups that need to catch up, and we could all those could catch up while price is moving up to 560 area, and then everything could move down together in sync with plenty of downside. There's no downside for Square, there's no downside for PayPal and Boeing and all these. But if they play massive catch-ups, then there's plenty of downside for tech and the small caps at some point. Okay, I know I'm spending a lot of time on here, but this is super important. So we're holding underneath this 150%. So that's the 545. We're holding underneath it right now. Can't get above it in the last 4 days. If you can't get above that level, I think we, with the catalyst coming tomorrow and the next day, we might hit those lower levels that go into next week. And so we'd probably form a bottom next week as well. Moving to the 65. On the 65 minute, we were really getting tight price action into the top of this wedge here. And so again, that would make more sense to me if price can come lower and possibly test these zones here, or just the bottom of the wedge, and then start to form ending diagonals or grinding to the upside to get to these targets out here. There's nothing that says that price can't break down from the wedge. go lower, I think that's a little less likely, but we'll see. If we start breaking down from the wedge, go lower, form a bottom somewhere within time and price, we'll look at that when and if this breaks down, and then at a lower price, get down lower, and then back test higher to reach these zones up here again. So nothing says this can't be the top, especially if the wedge breaks. Then we'll have to look at two scenarios. If the wedge breaks, we'll have to look at the bear scenario that we get a lower high, back testing, and then lower. Or we get a low, back test higher, which then will bring this wedge bottom lower and work from there. But we're not there yet. So let's just see what happens. We're at this time relationship right now. So let's look at these time and fibs. Time ratios here. We added some new ones on because we have a top here where I don't know if that's just a recent top and we get one more, but we're into this time zone right now. Excuse me. We're into this time zone right now. So price action, it seems to be forming a bear flag. If we have 627, 628, so maybe tomorrow. I thought it was 626, but 627. So we still have another day for this cluster to kind of play out. Tons of relationships going on here. So this could play out into tomorrow. Maybe we get a big bearish day and we find a low. Maybe, into tomorrow that calls the top of this move. We just get a top. And then we start to break down into the next cluster. So 7-3, no matter where price is, we're looking at 7-3 being the next situation. That there will be a relationship with time and price. So we're just about at one. We'll see what happens tomorrow. So be careful if you're biased to one side or the other. Make sure you have some hedges because this could go either direction. A price looks like it's holding a bottom and could reach one more high. Maybe this the catalyst that brings us higher, and then price can keep going to wherever it needs to go. But we're at a ceiling. I think, if we make a new high, I think that's going to be a quick move. So maybe this is an A, B, C as some sort of wave 4 or so into lower prices down here. So this is going to be choppy, corrective, but I do know that if we start getting lower into these time relationships, then I'm going to go long and take off some of those put hedges as price goes lower, because I think that wedge is going to hold one more time, but we'll see. All right, I can't predict it. I'm just giving you the scenarios of what we're going to do. Now, going to the Qs. This is why I think we're kind of going lower here. I think the Qs are setting up, and I added on to some QQQ puts. We're at the 50% retracement. This looks like an impulse move here. Now, this could be a top for an impulse move. I don't think SPY is representing that as well, but we have impulse, a retracement. So this is possible A, B, C, right into the bottom of the wedge, and price starts moving higher. This is the tail that wags the dog. So the Qs holds lower prices going into tomorrow and Friday, then I think we're going to take off our hedges and look for price to make one more high after that. So this looks like a 5-3-5 possible zigzag. If this is done and this was an ABC just in itself, then you'll see price go higher, you'll see SPY go higher, and we'll really keep an eye on the small caps moving with. So we're bullish to small caps no matter what. Now they can, don't think that they can't. They're super volatile. They still can make a new low, but they're in this flag formation, and I do believe that this is a 3-wave move down for A, big move for B, and then a 5-wave impulse move down for C. So I do think this is complete, personally. That's my opinion. and that this is just a setup, making market structure here for a higher low, higher highs, and this will take off eventually. And we're looking for time relationships here, this being the bottom anyway, today. Okay, so if this starts to move with some conviction and the Qs start getting a little bit stronger, then, the market's going up. All right. If this is stronger and the Qs are going down and dragging the main market to those prices that I was talking about, then great, we're making money off both trades. So that's why we have this pairs trade going on. And if the market drags down, the Qs drag everything down, and this makes a new low, while and this is like an A, B expanded, and we get a C higher, something like that, well, then we're going to make money because we're short SPY and QQQ. And the smaller caps are holding strong in those corrections as we speak. All right, let's go to the VIX, and then we'll look at MJ. I did a members video on CGC, and when and if that starts to move, I'll send that video out for the public. So we have this this channel that's forming. It could be more of a wedge. We're not hitting that top there, so that could be just a back test of the wedge. If I move that here, then I disconnect those, but we'll just worry about the top here, more of the top here. So we're just back testing right now. So what does that say to me? If we're just back testing these points, I know that's not pretty. I can redraw it, but I'm not going to waste your time. We're back testing that wedge. Then that says to me that maybe we have one more high here to the 14 or 1550 zone, and price goes down while the VIX makes a new high above here perhaps. And then if it rejects off of there, which would be on the daily time frame, that's kind of where we're focusing. See, this is drawn a little bit better. We're back testing, and then maybe we get above the 200 into our resistance here, but price will have to hold. VIX is so volatile. This will probably spike above. That means we'll get our low somewhere. If we hold below 1550, we'll probably get a low in the market, and this will start to retreat and possibly make a new low, while price action in the market makes a new high to our last targets. And that'd be a beautiful scenario, because if this the VIX started to make a brand new low, this is a massive wedge to the downside, and we'd have positive divergence, and then I think we'd have an actual recessional top, or at least a major top for a correction. If this starts to break down to the 12 and make a new low, we'll have a great setup there for long VIX, short the market. All right, MJ. MJ here. Let's go to the monthly time frame. We'll zoom through this. There's not a whole lot. This is really, really easy. This is easy scenario. We have a falling wedge, a bullish falling wedge, broke out, back tested. You go check out the the yield. We're getting paid 6% yield to hold this bad boy. I know I made a video a long time ago. If you're still holding, which I am, you're getting paid 7% down here. You're getting paid 6% to hold this bad boy, to do nothing but appreciate. So this looks like a 5-wave move down. To me, it looks like a corrective A, B, C. All right. But if you count this as a 5-wave move down, then at minimum, you're going to get a bounce, maybe to 10, maybe a little higher, 60%, and then this thing dies out. If this is just a correction, then it's just going to die out. The ETF is going to go to zero. But I don't think this is going anywhere. I think this is going to play like the commodities. I think commodities are in a big boom. And I think that MJ is going to go and appreciate much, much higher. And you can get paid while you wait to do that. So I really don't need to look at any other time frames, but we will look at the oscillator. Positive divergence, monthly positive divergence. That's a huge, huge setup. Let's go to the weekly, look at kind of the same things really fast here. Same thing, I got to redraw that wedge, but you see what's happening there. We're getting market structure, higher highs, higher lows, and maybe this is one structure in itself, and now we're retreating for retracement, and it's back testing, but same thing. Same thing, we got our positive divergence into that low, and now with the slow stoke, we're already at our low. We're getting an early buy signal on the weekly time frame. We're in a positive structure here, so we have a little bit of work to do to cross back over in the MACD, but we're holding above in bull territory. Early buy signal. This thing is looking good. Let's move to the daily. Trend is our friend. Again, we're making those lows. Now we're getting a bullish crossover on the daily time frame with a green histogram. Made our lows. Even made, low in the RSI. And we're starting to move up in the slow stoke. This is firming up. We've already moved up 2%, 2.5% today. This should be a nice mover for the individuals as well. So you could draw a line in here. I don't have a whole bunch drawn on this, but now that we're really keying in on this, there you go. There's our first trend line. That's our first trend line. We can draw in great support resistance here at about the $4.60. And what that's going to do, this looks like it's forming a rounded bottom. But this this last low here really looks like we're starting to form a ascending triangle. So we'll see how far that extends into the apex, but really this could just take off. But we'll see. This will be a great resistance to get over. It could take some time to build that momentum on the higher time frames, but a breakout from here, the 460. And that should be a nice move, and maybe even a back test and continue higher from there. But this is a great looking chart, bottoming. And if you got in early, great. I don't think we're gonna retest those lows again, ever. Not sure. Okay. Well, thanks for joining us here at Option Center. Don't forget to like the videos if you want these videos in real time during market hours, then consider becoming a supporter. Have a wonderful day. We'll talk to you in the next video.